Every time you pick up your phone, something inside you dies a little. And the worst part is you don't even notice it happening. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly why your willpower keeps collapsing, why your goals feel impossible to reach despite your best intentions. And most importantly, you will have a clear path to take back control of your own mind. But first, you need to understand something about yourself that nobody in your life has ever told you directly. Your brain has been rewired, not by accident, not by circumstance, by design. Social media platforms were not built to entertain you. They were built to own you. The engineers behind these apps understood one fundamental truth about human psychology long before most of us ever questioned it. Dopamine is not just a pleasure chemical. It is the engine of motivation, focus, and discipline. And when that engine gets hijacked, everything else in your life starts to fall apart quietly, invisible, in ways you mistake for personal failure. Think about the last time you sat down to do something that truly mattered, a project, a study session, a conversation with someone you loved. And within minutes, your hand reached for your phone almost on its own. That is not weakness, that is a trained response. And understanding the difference between those two things might be the most important shift you make this year. Here's what is actually happening inside you. Every notification, every scroll, every like creates small bursts of dopamine in your brain's reward circuit. The problem is not the burst itself, it is the frequency. When your brain receives dozens of these micro rewards every hour, it recalibrates its baseline. Suddenly, the slow, deep satisfaction of working toward a meaningful goal no longer feels rewarding enough to compete. Your brain has been conditioned to expect instant stimulation, and real life simply cannot keep up with that pace. And this is where the real damage begins, not in your phone, but in your relationship with difficulty. Discipline at its core is the ability to delay gratification. It is the capacity to sit with discomfort long enough for something meaningful to take shape. Every great achievement in your life, every skill you built, every obstacle you overcame, require you to tolerate the tension of not having the answer yet, not seeing the result yet, not feeling rewarded yet. That tolerance is not a personality trait you either have or lack. It is a neurological capacity, and social media is eroding it hour by hour, day by day, in every person who scrolls without awareness. But here's what most people never ask is if dopamine is the problem, why does carrying your phone use feel so unbearably uncomfortable? The answer to that question reveals something about human nature that changes everything. When you remove a constant dopamine source, your brain doesn't simply return to normal. It enters a state that neuroscientists call dopamine deficit, a period where ordinary life feels flat, dulled, almost meaningless. Tasks that once felt manageable now feel monumental. Motivation disappears. Concentration fractures, and most people at exactly this moment pick up their phones again and conclude that they simply lack discipline. They blame themselves for what is, in reality, a biochemical withdrawal. They internalize the story of personal inadequacy when the truth is that their nervous system is reacting exactly as it was conditioned to react. This is the hidden emotional wound beneath the technical problem. The belief that you are broken, that you are not built for success, that others have something you don't. Social media doesn't just consume your time. It manufactures self-doubt at scale. So what does recovery actually look like? It doesn't look like deleting every app and living in silent isolation. It looks like something far more precise, far more intentional, and far more powerful than that. It starts with understanding that your brain is not your enemy. It is a learning system that responds to the inputs you give it consistently over time. You rewire it in one direction. You can rewire it in another. The first step is not restriction. It is replacement. Your brain is not going to tolerate an empty space where dopamine used to flow. It will fight you. It will negotiate with you. It will manufacture 1,000 rational excuses for why checking your feed one more time makes perfect sense. The solution is to give your reward system something else to do, something that generates dopamine through effort rather than through passive consumption. Exercise, creation, learning, deep conversation, physical challenge. These are not just healthy habits, they are neurological counterweapons. The second step is deliberate friction. Make the easiest thing slightly harder and the hard thing slightly easier. Move the apps off your home screen. Put your phone in another room when you work. Set specific windows for consumption rather than leaving the gate permanently open. These are not dramatic life changes, they are environmental designs that reduce the number of times your impulse has to fight your intention. And every time your impulse loses, your prefrontal cortex gets slightly stronger. Your discipline is not a muscle you train at the gym. It is a circuit you reinforce with every small decision you make consistently throughout the day. The third step is the one most people skip entirely, and it is the one that determines whether all of this actually sticks. You need a reason that is larger than the discomfort of change, not a vague desire to be more productive, a specific vision of who you are building yourself into and what the version of you will be able to create, experience, and give to the people around you. Without that answer, every difficult moment will feel like a sacrifice. With it, every difficult moment becomes evidence that you are becoming someone worth becoming. Now, remember the question this video opened with. The thing happening inside you every time you reach for your phone? Here is the truth you came here for. This is not a flaw, it is a test. Every single moment of resistance you feel is your brain asking whether you are serious about your own life. The people who build extraordinary discipline are not people who never feel the pull. They are people who learn to recognize the pull for what it is and choose differently. One small moment at a time. Your attention is the most valuable thing you own. Protect it like your future depends on it, because it does.